All right, hello, everybody. Hey! Oh, perfect, that worked. I just had to change the background though. But hello. Testing. Mark. There's a purple background right there. I guess technical difficulties, real quick, everybody.
You have technical difficulties? What are your difficulties?
Dude, it's one of those moments where we're setting up mid like waiting room and everything. Should be fine. Oh, default. There it is. Yeah, I have to hello, Mark.
Hello.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's one of those issues where I I have to check the voice settings on Discord sometimes.
You did the oopsie.
No, not necessarily. Like it's hit or miss. It's legitimately hit or miss on Discord because sometimes it'll pick up like the output exactly as I want it to, but sometimes it sets to default, and default pretty much means that it picks nothing up as far as like anyone else's voice. But at the very least, the line input it's always right, so I'm usually speaking before I hear anything. But
Gotcha.
yeah, all right. Looks like we're good to go. It's funny because like as the intro was popping up, I was like, oh wait, I need to pop out the actual like call screen. But it was perfect. It was perfect nevertheless. But all right, we'll go ahead and get started. So hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin,
Uh,
and you're watching or listening to episode 428 of DangIT Prodcast. Welcome back, everybody. It's been a pretty jam-packed week, and it was kind of like last minute as well because it was pretty quiet at the beginning of the week, and then like legitimately like on Monday we just got like news dropping for like the Nintendo Direct, the state of play at this like later on in that day announced for the same day. And we were like, oh my, okay, let's talk about that. And I
of all
remember
days, Phil should probably be here.
Phil wanted to have a sit down with us, talk earlier that I think yeah the night before, just to get some predictions out, and we were partially right on some things here and there, but yeah dude, it was a lot to kind of unfold, and I was typing it up a little bit last minute, just trying to get my thoughts together. Usually when it comes to that, you can also just check out the YouTube channels of the respective like companies, and you'll see like the trailers that dropped, and that's kind of your idea of like what they had showcased in case you've forgotten anything. So I just did that real quick. Oh, but first and foremost, Mark, how have you been? Mark? Oh, our boy. He's gone. I'm just gonna go ahead and just double check the user settings again. No, it's not that. It's a good thing. It's a good thing it doesn't really change midway, like while it's plugged in. It only changes if you want to change it. That and other sources devices get like plugged in. Also, this is a perfect opportunity for me to check. Okay, outputs there. Good. Well, as we try to figure that out, I guess I'll kind of go ahead um, and kind of get started because there's a lot, and I'm gonna try to like keep it as coherent and just chronologically like aligned as possible as far as like the dates of which all these got released. But essentially, we had the whole direct, we had the state of play. After that, Capcom had like two little like mini programs. Well, actually, one main program and then like one mini program for Street Fighter specifically. Um, and then there was a bunch of other news like later down the line that I picked up on earlier, and just some personal stuff that showed up. But um, I will tell you guys immediately my thoughts on the direct. It's totally solid. Like I think honestly, it almost got to me because after watching that direct, I was checking in on other people's reactions to like said direct, and the two that I had checked out first were not really all about it. To be fair, though, I should have anticipated that, right? One of them was Chef, and the other one was Maximilian, dude. So it was a bit rough then to get their takes on it, but they were right though. There was a lot of farming simulators. And that wasn't something I was really keen on either. Although the RPG stuff is still like in my like playing field. But there were still a couple of other things and announcements that showed up that weren't RPG focused. They just didn't feel like they had a lot of like time and spotlight for it. Especially since you had things like, what was it called, Fae Farm? And I was like, it looks alright. The story of season like looks great. I'm not sure though if I'm really after having so much farming simulator, I'm like, And then we saw Harvestella again. Harvestella, oddly enough, has quite a bit of coverage on that one. I guess it's because it's just something completely out of left field from Square. But so was well, they had a game that released and was announced that very same day. It wasn't a farming sim. It was just kind of like a more traditional RPG. But it's available on the eShop right now and possibly other platforms. I don't remember what it was called. It had like the same text font as Octopath Traveler, as maybe Live Alive, if not Triangle Strategy. It looked like it was leaning towards that a little bit. But yeah. Checking in with Mark one more time. Is everything good? In fact, I don't even see any indication of you trying to speak either. So something might have popped up. But that's okay. Just let me know. If you're still there, Mark, and you can still hear me. If you gotta do something, just go ahead and text in the chat and I'll see that. It should even pop up on the podcast as well. Let me see. The next thing, well, actually, I didn't even talk about the things that like I got really excited for. So there's a lot. I got a list. It's good. So we got Fire Emblem Engage. I think pre-orders had gone up, but I think they sold out. So I guess we'll see if their pre-order bonus is still around. I might actually just do that through GameStop, but it depends on the availability. Octopath Traveler 2 was announced and looks really good, actually. Even better than the first one. I was like, how's that possible? And then there's Atelier Ryza 3. I played the first two, so y'all know that story. It's something that like you wouldn't expect it, but it's actually a really good series. Pikmin 4 was the next thing. They actually, quick little aside, so what was it, Miyamoto, right? Yeah, so there was a whole talk about recapping what was it, Pikmin Bloom? Whatever the mobile game is called. And it's so interesting how they kind of advertised that like in the direct. I feel like they shouldn't have done that, but they did that because they wanted to kind of like refresh in your minds about like what's current with Pikmin and what can kind of bide your time for the actual announcement, which was Pikmin 4. So they didn't have much to really show about like Pikmin 4 except for just like an idea of like how you're gonna look at the world in that game, and that's gonna be like down on the ground, like within the perspective of the Pikmin, if not like just closer to the party, which I do kind of like a little bit more so. But we'll see how that plays out. Next one was Bayonetta 3. Despite them not having too much of a strong appearance showing up in the direct, they had a separate video. If you saw that video, the gameplay is crazy. The next one is Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Crazy that Kirby's out here getting all the celebrations for its anniversary. Meanwhile, like Zelda and Mario kind of got kaput. In like sheer like contrast. Tales of Symphonia Remaster was actually a thing that got announced. I'm not entirely too keen on that one. It looks like the remaster's like 30 frames per second still. So if you have like the PC version, or well, yeah, if you have the Steam version, PC version, then you're pretty much good. You have the GameCube version, you're good. The actual 60 frames per second one. And then of course, to wrap it all up, Direct had the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, the new title instead of the sequel to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Which, you know, again, I gotta call it out. The fact is that we had no idea what they were gonna call this one, except for maybe Breath of the Wild 2. We were bouncing ideas around. I was really hoping it'd become Legend of Zelda Second Wind, but I get it. I just did what I could. I just updated the thumbnail and I just did a little funny bit like on the top left or sorry, top right corner of that thumbnail. I hope you all enjoyed that, or even see that. It's good. So all in all, the direct was very nice. I really enjoyed just pretty much like a fair like cast of all the things that have shown up here, but it was definitely like an RPG kind of heavy one, just based on how they kind of presented the direct. So a lot of these games are showing up around the winter time, and mind you, winter also kind of spans not just December but also January and a little bit of February as well. I think even March. Yeah, Breath of the Wild is coming
Sorry
out
about
like
that. I was needed for something.
oh okay, got you. All right, cool. So I was just kind of going over the direct. I'm not sure if you heard like much of like my bit, but I was just wrapping up on that. But yeah, to kind of recap: Fire Emblem, Octopath, Rise of 3, Pikmin, Bayonetta 3, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Tales of Symphonia a little bit, and then Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah, the Tales of Symphonia remaster.
Yes. So I added it there because obviously I'm starting to become a fan of the Tales series, but this remaster, aside from just kind of bringing it to other ports, it's kind of all right. It's whatever. If you've already have like the Steam version, I don't think you're really missing out on a lot. Now, if they add some new content, or if they unlock the frame rate, that'd be another matter. So it is what it is. Apparently, the foundation of like these remasters may be based on like the PlayStation 2 version, which did get capped out on its frame rate. And then as far as like upresing, that was just kind of another matter. And it's only the GameCube version that actually has like the 60 frames for some reason. I guess it was some weird programming thing, but I've seen other people. I've seen people kind of try to add 60 frames into like the PC version, and everything just kind of goes all wonky. Character models just like fling their arms. It's the funniest thing, because I guess like coding wise, it's about having to tell the game that there's extra frames here and there, and so it just kind of messes it up big time. So some weird internal thing.
Because that version of the game isn't meant to run that way.
This is true. It's only meant for 30 frames. It's not bad, but like that is something that existed that is no longer available. But what did you think about the direct?
I thought the direct was good. They presented some decent stuff.
Mm-hmm. What would you say?
I think Pikmin 4 was probably the biggest surprise.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't think anyone predicted Pikmin showing up.
Honestly, I kind of like ranged Pikmin in comparison to like how they're treating like Star Fox right now. As in, that's kind of like we're not touching that for a little bit.
Looks like we were wrong, and Pikmin is going strong.
Yeah, they talked about Bloom for a little bit, but yeah, Pikmin 4 is in development. I guess they're gonna have shirts available at some point too. But
Pikmin merch.
Pikmin merch. I still have my Comic-Con one, the one that probably does not fit me anymore, but that was for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Or actually, no, I think it was just regular Pikmin 3. I think at some point. Or it doesn't really matter, but Pikmin 3. Yeah, no, I played Deluxe and actually really enjoyed that. I didn't think I would, per se, but I'm glad that it was on sale that one day, and Phil had just kind of like pretty much talked everybody into it, myself included, about just picking it up like when it was just like $30. And I was like, okay, let's see what's. I think it's finally a good time for me to just kind of dive into the series, because otherwise I don't think I would have been. I was like, oh my god, it's actually kind of charming.
Yeah, actually kind of charming.
Yeah, they didn't show off a lot. They just showed like a perspective in Pikmin 4 being just kind of low to the ground instead of like over an angle looking downwards. So I think that might be a little bit more engaging, just to kind of be in that perspective, just whatever's in front of you instead of just looking on ahead as easily as you do. But well, actually, I guess not as much, because you're still always controlling the character. But I don't know. I think honestly, I've said my piece about all the stuff here, but I think Tears of the Kingdom was like the most surprising one, just as far as the title drop itself. Also, hello Ibrahim.
And the title made the queen hit the title with what happened to the queen. Okay, I make sense of why they why they delayed it now.
That's true. Yeah, that was the thing that
Tears of
happened
the
this past
Kingdom,
week as
that would
well.
have been in bad taste.
It would have been in bad taste, even if it was, even though it was like unrelated at all. But now it makes sense. It's kind of like, oh, okay.
I get it now.
But now it kind of makes me wonder, like, was that in the context of like the game itself? You know?
Well, obviously, it probably wasn't. It's obviously just like a whoops.
Well, no, yeah, yes, of course. I'm asking though, like, what does Tears of the Kingdom mean for Legend of Zelda though? Like, because it's a sequel, and it's not Breath of the Wild 2, so it's not trying to lean towards that direction.
I mean, it is and it isn't. It is
Yeah,
the sequel to Breath of the Wild. It's just not called Breath of the Wild 2.
yeah, and I mean, like other like works have done stuff like this before, but Tears of the Kingdom means like something as far as I think it. I mean, this is just like throwing that thought out there, but it's probably just something about Hyrule not being the same in the past
Ancient
and
Kingdom, maybe?
currently.
Ancient Kingdom, maybe? Who knows?
Listen, I saw the mural that they showed in the beginning of the trailer. Rehydrated Ganon is gonna show up.
Are you talking about that thing?
It's time for rehydrated Ganon to make a comeback.
Dehydrated Ganon.
He's gonna start off like a raisin, and then he's gonna become full grape.
That's if that is Ganon.
I'd believe it. I mean,
And if it's not,
then it's just some random dude got the life sucked out of him. Emphasis on suck with 2 C's.
it's either Ganon or it's a new villain, one or the other.
This is true. It could be a brand new villain. And actually, I haven't even thought that far out about it. I've just been kind of focusing on like how the terrains change. It looks like the game's going to still have like the regular map, maybe even constrain a little bit, but it's going to have different levels in Hyrule, being like essentially the floating islands and then just like the ground floor. So that's all we have so far. And I'm just really curious. A lot of people are kind of deep diving because they're showing bits of like the map in the game, so it's been cool to kind of check that out. But we do have the release date of May, so that's good.
Let's go.
Abraham was saying Home Alone on a Saturday afternoon. My mother went to Georgia for a wedding. One of her friends is getting married. Nice, nice. Yeah, but that's pretty much it for my
Home
take on.
Alone.
I'm sorry, what was that, Mark?
Home Alone. Let's go.
Let's go. Buy all the snacks.
Close the blinds. You know what to do with the internet.
What? Excuse me. I do not know what you speak, but it must be, but may not be appropriate.
Hey, Abe's of age.
So about the state of play. State of play was popping off too. Like I was watching.
I love how my theoretical that I didn't think was really going to happen, but I did mention it actually happened.
You know, if we're talking about Tekken, yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. Mainly because
honestly, I did. I mentioned it just like maybe Tekken. I don't think it's gonna happen. Probably not. But hey,
they shocked us with that. I mean, granted, they still had a more coming to you soon. As in, here's a
God,
quick,
it looks crisp.
Here's a quick but also like very tasteful teaser of like what it's gonna kind of look like, right?
It is crisp.
So, do you remember the release date of Tekken 7? Because it's been a while.
I think I heard someone say it released in 2015.
Oh my god!
So this is 7 to 8 years later. We're getting Tekken 8.
Man, and the progression really shows because it's always like from like Street Fighter 5. It was a question of like how these games would look with the most up to date specs and hardware, and it shows.
Like as soon as we heard that, like here's the thing, we all thought that was going to be a cinematic, and then they started fighting an actual game, and I was like, oh,
That was sick. and then Jin
I
like
was
did
like,
like partial
this is in.
demon, and I was like, oh,
I
they
was
did.
like, this is in engine. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's actually like legitimately in engine. So that bicep flex, that was real.
I want to know. I just want to know if that's just like if that was just for dramatic effect or part of the character thing, or if that's like kind of like asserting a certain move, like a certain mechanic of the game.
I mean, maybe. I think it's kind of a mix because I think it's one of those things where they just had a camera rig like in within like that little
Well,
dimension space.
oh, they definitely had that, but I'm just wondering if that was just they zoomed in right there and added a sound effect, or if that is legitimately a mechanic in the game.
I would say that might. Uh, I would just say safely that probably isn't the one. The slow motion was, but not maybe not the zoom in. Although that would be kind of sick too.
Yeah, it's very Mortal Kombat of them.
Yeah, I think the zoom in for that particular shot would have to be like heavily customized because if if Kazuya has that, then everyone has that, but no one has like ragingly like thick biceps. You know what I mean?
Dude, Kazuya and Jin over here looking like gym goals.
Hmm. It's also funny that Heihachi's gone, but like for Jin, like the next person in line in the family's next.
Yeah, because this is with Heihachi gone, it is legitimately down to the rivalry between father and son, Jin and Jin and Kazuya.
What else is there? But yeah, Tekken 8 was like super sick. They showed some VR stuff. I'm not too big on PlayStation VR quite yet. Although I've heard some really good things, a lot Phil and other folks in the community. But honestly, like from Sega's side, like a Dragon Ishin, or at least I think it's Sega. Yeah, it should be Sega. Um, so apparently, like a Dragon Ishin is actually something that was not available for the West until recently. So
Yeah,
that's
it was
super
a
cool.
Japan exclusive at first, apparently.
Damn. This still looks pretty nice though. It might be looking like an older engine, so that would probably support that as well. Um, I just put this in order of like the YouTube postings as well. Stellar Blade, aka Project Eve, still looking really like nice, super shiny,
Stellar Blade looks great.
dude. When I saw that on what was it? I mean, I just kind of came across it on TikTok. It was a clip of XQC watching a bit of that. Why was he sniffing? You know, I posted to Seppi. I was like, "Is this your streamer?" Oh my god.
Respected.
Okay, but the next thing, I think it's from Team Ninja. It's Rise of the Ronin, which looks
That looks
really,
really good.
it looks really super sick. Like I saw him like jump off and do the hang glider thing. I was thinking like, wait, why does that camera shot remind me of Assassin's Creed?
I think it's very clear they took a lot of inspiration from Assassin's Creed.
But and then the combat was something else too. Like I saw like quite a bit of Ghost of Tsushima as far as the camera, the blocking. But then there was a part where like he actually like zips towards somebody, and I was like, "Well, that what?"
I mean, yeah, it's like that's what I noticed about Ghost of Tsushima when I first saw it. Like I noticed as well because it was just like how I noticed with Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. I noticed
Mhm.
exactly like, oh, they're took inspiration from Assassin's Creed in terms of their movements, in terms of their movement mechanics, the way the maps work, the way you get these more view of the map.
Mhm.
Like they just took a few aspects of it.
Now I think Rise of Ronin is actually like the I guess the Team Ninja game for PlayStation if I'm not mistaken. And then like Xbox might have something else. I forgot what it was called, but they did show it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Wulong,
Yes, it was that one.
Wulong Fallen Dynasty, which I have played the demo for.
So I guess y'all need to just keep a lookout for both of them. I guess we'll see.
But the big difference here is that Wulong is a Souls-like game.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do remember that. Abraham saying, please don't make it an RPG. It was good for not being one. Oh, you're probably going back on what was it, like a Dragon Ishin? So I do know
I thought
about
he was
that
talking
split,
about.
right?
I thought he was talking about Ronin. I was like, what's wrong with it being an RPG?
No, I think Ibrahim's talking about how Yakuza was straight up like more action orientated, and then Yakuza Like a Dragon was starting to make the bridge between that and just like a somewhat traditional RPG. And it was at that point that they wanted to kind of like split it off a little bit. Like I think Judgment was more action based stuff, and they would kind of wanted to follow through on that like timeline, and then Yakuza might go more on the RPG side. I could be wrong about that. But I do know they wanted to dabble in more into that. And I think lastly, the last thing, and it was really the best, save the best for last. It was like literally this godlike a trailer for God of War Ragnarok.
I don't even know if that was as hype as Tekken 8 was.
What was that?
I don't know. I said I'm not even sure if I would say that was as hype as Tekken. I feel like Tekken 8 kind of stole the show.
Well, like as far as like technical like prowess, like I think both are really
That
good.
and
I
just,
think
oh
Tekken just
shit!
Tekken's like little teaser trailer was like super cool as far as just like how they introduced it. But I think Ragnarok was like a good like
Well, Ragnarok looks great. Like it looks great. Don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying, especially, is the oh shit factor.
oh, I'm sorry. Abraham was talking about Assassin's Creed, not, Yakuza. He's saying no, Assassin's
Mirage.
Creed. Assassin's Creed was an RPG for a little bit, but please go back to the regular Assassin's Creed style.
They're doing that with Mirage.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mirage is not. Mirage is going to be a. It's going. The combat's not going to be like the combat will be similar to the RPGs, but it's not. But apparently, everything else is going to be a bit different.
Yeah.
It'll be more similar to the originals.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a strong opinion like towards like it being RPG or not, but I played both.
I like both. Like the
Yeah.
RPG system in Assassin's Creed, I get why people aren't huge fans of it, but anyone I have talked to about it will agree it's not bad. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's just not the same.
Like it's not a bad system. It's just not as good.
It's just not what you're like familiar
Not what you're
with.
used to. Like it is by no means a bad system. It is just not the same system that we know from Assassin's Creed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but
And that's why I think they should work with blending in the old Assassin's Creed with these mechanics. They should really just try to make them either have settings like they do with Valhalla.
mm-hmm.
Valhalla, they gave you settings to switch back to some old mechanics from the old Assassin's Creeds. They could keep doing that, or they could try blending them better.
Okay.
Like Valhalla, they gave you the option to turn on one hit assassinations again.
Oh yeah, that's right. I feel
where
like
you could legit, if you get the assassination, it's just done.
This is true. You know what? I think that's a really good mechanic to kind of keep in. I remember Origins came around, and obviously at that point, like you're showing off like the combat there, and for the most part, your assassinations do like big damage. So much so that usually things are one hit, but if you go against someone who's like actually like farther up the levels than you are, then it actually won't do much.
I have a friend, and I love my friend. She's great, but Jesus Christ, this girl cannot sneak in Assassin's Creed to save her fucking life. She got so pissed at one point she went on what we call a blood rage.
I mean, don't we all do that at a certain
And
point?
she destroyed the entire outpost in that game. She couldn't do it sneaking, but good lord, she said, "Ree!" and then just destroyed everything.
That's fair. No, I get it. That's valid.
We were just in there. I was just like the John Cena theme was playing in my head, watching her the entire time.
Time is now.
You can't see me. My time is now.
Oh, but to kind of go back to the earlier point, yeah, I think both trailers, Tekken 8 and God of War, are great. I think God of War, is a story trailer. Moreover, just is a nice like closer for State of Play. Tekken 8 is like definitely they were both placed there for a reason. Where they are.
I think both trailers were great, and they were both the highlights of the show. Mainly what I'm giving Tekken 8, why I'm saying it might have been the stealer, is because it had way more of a oh shit surprise factor.
Also, you were saying, please give Odin the spear. Is he? Are you? Abraham, are you talking about?
Are you talking about Gugnir?
We're talking about God of War.
He's talking. I know the spirit. He's talking about Gugnir.
Oh,
That's
that
Odin's
one. Yeah,
spear.
yeah, the spear. But what is that in context of?
I mean, he could either be talking about Valhalla or he could be talking about God of War.
Okay, fair enough.
So it's honestly, it could be either or.
Got you. Okay. And you know what? I thought the week of gaming news was going to just be like just those two things, but the games just kept rolling out. God of War? Okay, confirmed.
There's Tokyo Game Show.
The Tokyo Game Shows was also a thing here. I didn't get to see a lot. In fact, I didn't even cover the Xbox stuff. I should have. I think I would have been able to watch it last night. As far as like,
we're getting Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah, Market is Mark's gonna eat good. There's a lot of stuff showing up on Game Pass.
I don't know why we didn't get it at launch in the first place,
Honestly, just look at PlayStation.
But it does, like, here's the thing. It's like, I feel like it was literally just hey, you mind if we just keep it for a little bit first?
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation isn't the only one to do it. I mean, other game companies, Nintendo is also like guilty of that. Xbox is also guilty of that. I mean, if you look at like Tunic, for example, is an example of that.
I will say in recent years, Xbox is not nearly as guilty of it.
And I feel like it's because they don't really have to. And I think all of it like kind of goes down as far as like money's sakes. Like that's why Sony has such a like grasp on like Final Fantasy stuff. Not necessarily Square Enix, but just like
you sons of bitches.
Final Fantasy stuff, because they want Sony to be like the place for like Final Fantasy. That's why 14 shows up on like the PlayStation 4.
It was supposed to be coming to Xbox.
And
like it was announced that it would be coming to Xbox, and the creators says they haven't like entirely given up on that.
And you know what?
So like it could still be coming, but we just gotta wait and see.
Yeah. Also, wait, didn't there was something I pointed out about, it was Octopath Traveler. Yeah, so you know how Octopath Traveler was actually a Switch exclusive for a good while, and then it showed up on PC, and then it showed up also on Xbox. So it did not show up on PlayStation at all. And so here comes Octopath Traveler 2, and they don't really talk about it because it shows up on Nintendo Direct, so you just kind of assume like, oh, it's on Switch for now. So yeah, no, Octopath Traveler 2 showing up on Switch. I'm not sure about PC, but it's also showing up on PlayStation. No Xbox. I was like, wait, what is happening?
That's like, is there a reason for this?
Honestly, if I could personify what was going on, it probably was PlayStation looking at like Octopath and how well it's doing, and then for Octopath Traveler 2, they're like, no, we're gonna take a little bit of that.
we will be taking that.
Ibrahim was asking, so has anyone been doing their homework with Masahiro Sakurai's channel? A little bit. I've seen
his channel. I looked at it.
Yeah, I just like his perspective. Even like these videos are like really short, and there's some bits here and there that I kind of have already picked up just by listening to other people. But you know, him as an actual insider, an actual like integrate like part of that like industry, it's cool to kind of see his take on it, and also kind of just dive into a lot of the information just kind of as a user-friendly experience. Like I could see he's not really trying to get too technical about it. He just kind of gives you like a general idea about it. I think the most recent thing about his channel they released was the Game Awards specifically. What were they for exactly? And the TLDR version is just, it's a way to celebrate games, and it's a way for the people behind the games to celebrate that as well. So I thought that was super nice. Actually, even considered that like whole perspective, because yeah, it's true. For anyone, the game of the year could be anything. But it's moreover kind of like a celebration of everything, the whole industry and everything. But that does come with like popularity polls and everything. And you know what that does to some other works, a la, you know, Shonen. So they're good works.
Why you gotta bring up the pain?
good works is just the popularity really dominates or dictates exactly what it is.
Because they only have so many spots.
Yeah, that's true. Some crazy meta that I like really like came to like realization of the other week. But so yeah, we were talking about Tokyo Game Show. We are kind of like jumping in and out of like topics here and there. Yeah, Capcom's side of it I have listed out here. They talked about I think 6 things, if not 5, and that was Sunbreak, their title update.
We got some juicy info.
I wouldn't say as well. Actually, yeah, you're right. It was kind of juicy info. It's just in sheer comparison to the latter showing up later. What was it? There was a whole Resident Evil update.
They told us everything about Street Fighter.
So yeah, what was it? Resident Evil had like a little bit of an update. Unfortunately, a lot of it was I saw his cloud version stuff, and I was like, oh boy, it's Cloud City. The next thing was like Exoprimal. Still looks pretty good. The next one, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection. Essentially, it was just them showing us like some like UI stuff and what was the next thing? Oh, them working on online play, which is actually really dope because if it wasn't them, the community's already on it.
Exoprimal is looking pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then the last thing was Street Fighter, which literally was just as far as like what they had showed was like way longer than anything else showed. I was like, whoa, dude. They showed everything.
It's looking pretty hype.
It is like super hype. I'm actually looking forward to that. They got like
Ken looks so good.
Ken looks really good. I love those moves.
I know, like right now I'm debating between possibly just having Ken or Luke as the main.
Oh yeah. I really do like Luke as like the coach, your teacher. It's because it's so weird that like he shows up very late in Street Fighter 5, but chronologically speaking, that's a pretty early entry title in the timeline. And then Street Fighter 6 is like jumping way beyond to the current timeline. So at that point, like Luke has been part of the game in the series for a long time, technically speaking. So he knows his stuff. So speaking of Ken, he got jumped out of business. This is true. A bunch of accusations showed up. They didn't talk about it like during the presentation. You have to check out the website. But essentially,
he was framed for a crime he didn't commit.
Yeah, he got accused of doing some like evil organizational plot or organizing it. So he had to go into hiding. He had to lay low. He had to like say goodbye to his family for a little bit and just kind of like work in the shadows as he tries to figures this out.
Hey, he's still a good guy.
Still a good guy. But obviously, like, he had to change a little bit about his, like, he had to change himself just a little bit, just so he can protect himself. He can no longer walk out barefooted. He now has to wear boots. Which I think will really help with his kicks. I think there was a... Jury's on some nonsense. She has like apparently a winning like text against Ken, and she'll just say like I think you look a lot better now that you all this stuff has happened to you. I was like, that's terrible. Said.
Like it's gonna be a tough year to decide between people deciding which fighting game they're gonna get because both Street Fighter 5 and Tekken 8 are looking nice.
Do we know when well, I don't know about Tekken 8's like release, but I think Street Fighter should be sooner, right?
I imagine Tekken 8 will be 2023, 2024.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe guesstimate. But yeah, no, that's Street Fighter 6 is looking really nice too.
I know they've got their beta test coming up at some point.
It's true.
I am very much looking forward to that. I'll probably try to get into that.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like there's another beta test like going around, but yeah, I was like, oh wait, that was Call of Duty actually.
Oh yeah, that's coming out soon, and that Call of Duty's looking great. Modern Warfare 2 is looking great.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the live event for that?
I saw a bit of it, yeah.
All right. it was a very interesting presentation, and that's all I can really say about it.
That's because I know why you say that.
Why do I say that? Why do I say that, Mark?
Because you're in the headspace of Gungo Burr.
What?
Yes, I said you're in the headspace of Gungo Burr. That's about it.
Not necessarily. It's just how they presented it. It was really boring.
I was wondering, so I'm like, how far off am I? Because I know that you've said that before with shooters, you kind of just
It's true that I still kind of feel that way. I mean, like I was playing Halo Infinite like that one time, and I was like, you know, it's like it's kind of different. Same with Doom, so I can kind of like stick with it. But yeah, I think it's more over like the experience and just kind of like being in that zone of doing it. That would probably be a lot more engaging. But I don't know.
What you want is a really immersive shooter.
What I really would like to see is just like some really cool stuff just shown to me, not talked about.
That's fair, but I'm just saying, like, I'm saying what you also would like is a more immersive type of shooter.
Yeah. And you know, I think the Call of Duty like campaigns are super cool. But aside from
Oh, the
that,
campaigns are always really cool.
yeah, I just can't really see myself jumping back into multiplayer each time versus like I guess more recently Splatoon 3. I think that it's just enough variety like there. It's a little bit more colorful too. That kind of keeps my attention. And then when I think about like Call of Duty, I just that sounds like a lot for me to just kind of get into. Even it's kind of like on the same level as Fortnite as far as like jumping into that because
I mean, dude, some COD games they get really intense and really fun.
I guess so. I guess I just don't really quite see that
It's
yet.
just it's just a difference of experience of like of how I've experienced it and how you've experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been playing COD since I was like 11, 12.
That's crazy. Who bought that for you?
I mean, I was playing Halo when I was 5.
Who bought that for you?
It was my brothers.
All right, fair. Justin watched Tropic Thunder at what age?
What age did you watch Tropic Thunder?
I did.
Wait, what age did you watch Tropic Thunder at?
I think I was like 14 to 15. So technically speaking, I shouldn't have.
Is it? I forget. Is it rated R?
I think so, yeah.
Is it?
I believe so, yeah. It was rated R.
I mean, it's just a comedy.
Right. And just as how like Halo and whatnot are like, you know, they're just video games, right? But of course, like, of course,
like, I don't think there's anything in Tropic Thunder that's that bad.
it's not like it's a matter of like just for just transparency with everybody. It's really just about the level of maturity of the person consuming whatever media, whether it be video games, movies. But of course, staff have to like follow regulations to some extent. So, oh, I just realized I misspelled like one of the things in the title. Give me a second, I'll fix that. But yeah, that's just all it is.
Are you gonna try out Wulong?
It's not in my whatchamacallit radar. Someone had to
It wasn't in mine
remind
either,
me
but
of
I played the
that.
demo and it's pretty. It wasn't in mine either, but I played the demo and it's pretty damn sick.
Wait, there's a demo?
I said that
Oh, since when?
since the game show.
My fault, I guess, because I don't remember
it's
a
a-
goddamn thing about that.
It's available until the 25th.
Wait, how long has it been out for?
Since the 18th, I think.
Okay.
Well,
Oh.
no, wait. How long has it been? I'm trying to think how long it's been.
I was gonna say, like, what the hell?
I think it's been like it's either been 1 or 2 days.
Oh, I see. Okay. I guess that one like flew past me.
And honestly, it plays really good. Looks cool. It's a very fast Souls-like game.
All right. Well, considering it's Souls like, I should probably just kind of check that out. Let me see. What are the platforms? There's Xbox. I see that. There's Steam. Okay. I guess I'll yeah, you know what? I should make the advancement to just kind of go forward and actually do the thing, as in get the Xbox turned on and download that thing. because otherwise I'll forget. Speaking of Xbox,
I mean, I think I can play with you.
wait, is there actual like co-op stuff happening with that?
I mean, I think there is.
That's
I'll
kind of
double check just
cool.
to be sure.
All right, just getting that all sorted out there. Yeah, no, yeah. Speaking of Xbox, that was a little thing I wanted to point out as far as like life updates. Just sent my Elite Series 2 for repairs.
What happened to your Elite Series 2?
I talked about it last time, but I started noticing a little bit more so. So, what was it? The left bumper is not as responsive. Like there's some like dead zones somewhere, and you have to like put a certain amount of force. Otherwise, you kind of have to be lucky. It's not all the time. And then the right trigger is actually sticking to its resting spot, so it takes a little bit more force to actually like do the input on the trigger. I know what the issues are, and I had the plan to actually like pry it open myself to fix the problems. And then just at a whim, I decided to check and see if this thing had a warranty, a like limited warranty after buying it, and it was actually going to expire next month. So I was like, I could just send it. I'll just send it over to them. They'll figure it out. Yeah, no, that was a nice little find on my end. So for now, I'm just without it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, yeah. Wulong was kind of just like out of my out of my mind for a while.
I mean, it was like Bandai's biggest show off for the most part.
How much? Oh my god. The demo is like 23 what the hell?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, there's multiplayer.
Is there? Okay, cool. Well, you know what? I'll just go ahead and just do the download. I think there should be enough uh file space, so we should be good. Oh, well, internals, please. All right. All right. So I guess I'll get that downloaded. I think that might be the thing to play maybe later tonight. I have plans to do like God of War. So apparently, yeah, apparently God of War, the first one, 2018, is not too long. So we'll have plenty of time to kind of clear that before Ragnarok shows up.
Gotcha.
I don't want to rub it in, but it was one of those things where we're playing through God of War like currently because I was asking people like in my stream about what game to play, and it was like 3 games. It was Tales of Zestiria to continue the pseudo marathon, well, just the series in general. There was God of War, and then there was Monster Hunter Iceborne. And I'm sorry, Mark.
Oh.
They make it be like it is, but it do.
I think it'd be like it is, but it do.
They make it be like it is, but it do. Yeah, all right. So turn it off for a second. Okay. And then the last thing I have to really mention is actually a bit of Genshin news, and it's got me kind of interested in getting back into that game as well. Apparently there's a new anime that's being developed for them, and it's with Ufotable actually, which is super
Which is wild.
super crazy because technically Zach Aguilar voice for whatchamacalls it, Tandro, but also like Aether is also involved. So it's so crazy, like
How meta.
yeah, how meta that is. So Ufotable's like adaptation or like perspective of Demon Slayer just gets connected here too. And I think Demon Slayer, like the video game that's from Sega, actually has an update for the Entertainment District arc as well. A little tiny bit of news there, but that's super cool too.
And you know what that means, because you forget who else does Ufotable do animation for?
Who else for?
Fate.
Hmm?
They also do Fate
Oh yeah, that's right. They do Fate.
and Fate Go Online. Oh, only happens to be one of the most profitable games.
It's so funny about the
Fate,
origins of Fate and how it
Fate
is
Go,
now.
dude. The mobile game FGO. You should look up the numbers that makes. It's ridiculous.
The mobile game,
Yeah, look up the numbers it makes. It's ridiculous.
Fate mobile game. I mean, this might kind of be news to me. Oh, Grand Order. Oh, I have heard this one before. It's been out for a while. I can only imagine. Listen, I guess like these mobile games, Genshin included, they know what's up. They know the numbers.
Do you know the numbers that Fate Go makes?
I could not even imagine. Are you pulling up a number right now? I can tell.
I'm looking it up.
I can tell you how prolific just mobile games are for
In
like a franchise.
in only 2017, 982 million,
A million.
and in 2018, 1.2 billion.
You know what I could do with that money? I can kind of do I can be a little bit more lenient on just doing more focused content creation. But yeah, no, those aren't numbers to scoff at for sure. I'm pretty sure Fire Emblem Heroes is doing the same thing as well. It's been boasting them for a good while now. They had actually a more recent announcement for Fire Emblem Heroes, but God, I am so like detached from like that series or for that game specifically. I don't want to go back. It's so scary to just kind of jump back into that type of game. Same with Genshin as well, where like everyone's way far ahead of you at this point. The people who like stuck with it only get like good returns, and for me, I'm just welcome with so many like things to even keep in mind of.
Here's a very recent number.
Hmm.
In August of 2022, so just last month, 6.3 billion.
Just a month alone, three. Oh my god. What
That's that. Well, that's total revenue.
total? Oh, thank God. I was like, what the hell, dude?
That's total revenue the game has made. So just in 2022 of August of 2022, the game in its entire life has made 6.3 billion dollars, and this is a mobile game.
Yeah, which is, I mean, like, props to them for keeping like the franchises like going like this. It kind of makes you feel bad for others that try to like do the same thing. Like, oh no, like maybe Tales of Luminaria.
Yeah, Tails just didn't get that going, but you can understand Fate's got such a huge fan base,
It's true. It's
and
true.
like Fate's cool. Like Fate is cool, but it's just the fact of Fate is it can be hard for some people to get into because it is a basically everything in Fate is canon. It is like, and of course, trying to watch them in order it can usually be a bit of a hard thing to do.
Yeah, I couldn't even advise it either because I've only seen like the original Fate Stay Night, like that was previously like well that first anime like approach to that. And then there was Unlimited Blade Works. I never
Which
got
was
into
one of the
like
most popular.
I never got into like Heavenly Feel yet because it was about like where can I watch it at this point. I was curious about that, and then of course they did some like spin-off ones to which I was like I'm not sure like is this, and then like
Dude,
the stuff that
everything in
follows
Fate is
a
canon.
suit, the things that stick with people quite a lot, and you're like you gotta be kidding me, this is actually in like this spin-off. But
That's the thing. That's the thing you got to remember about Fate. It's just everything is canon. Even some of the dojins might be canon.
yeah, so I mean, just look out. It's probably a little bit more convoluting than me trying to tell you how to watch and engage in the a certain series,
Oh, a
whether it be
certain magical index, a certain
yeah
magical railgun.
index, scientific like railgun, and then there was also scientific ooh there was another one. I don't remember exactly what they called it. But yeah, there's just a bunch of that. And honestly, just like index by itself is so goddamn confusing at a certain point. Because our dude Kamijo like literally goes all around, gets himself
I think the
involved in all these different political stuff, and I'm just like so lost. All I know is that he's gonna punch a motherfucker. That's all I know.
You're aware of? Are you aware of a certain thing in Fate called mana transfer?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Are you aware of a certain mechanic in Fate known as mana transfer?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so.
I want you to Google it right now.
Okay. Could you repeat that? A certain.
No, just look up Fate mana transfer.
Mana transfer? Oh, I see it. Mana transfer ritual. Great, I'm in the images. What am I gonna see?
No, you just gotta read what it is.
Okay, thank you. All right. It shows the scene with Rin and Shiro. So I think I just read I read something from GameSpot FAQs. Okay, this is what's going on. That might not. I'm not sure this is the proper thing I should really be reading. Maybe like a wiki about it. Yeah, here we go. So, sorry, Ibrahim. I see that you were saying some messages as well. He was saying, "Good thing I didn't spend my life savings on Fire Emblem Heroes." Oh yeah, but what about Fire Emblem Gage? My boy Roy's gonna be in it. Finally, I can do Japanese voice acting.
Fire Emblem, I lost the kids.
If they have a thing for it. But have you heard of Elden Ring has a manga, like an official manga? I did.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That was so goddamn funny.
I've seen it. It's great.
It's so funny. I'm glad that they embraced that. Okay, I'm gonna get so turned around with this. Let me see if I can. Okay, they don't like me trying to. They don't like me trying to search for like mana transfer specifically. Although I guess, can you answer the question? Is it just like a euphemism for like magic sex?
Mana transfer. If someone doesn't have mana or needs more mana, one of the ways they can become stronger and get mana or like do something like that is the other person needs to one of them needs to intake bodily fluids, whether that be spit, blood, and or sexual fluids.
Ooh, I guess that explains that one spin-off bit.
So you get power. You can get powerful through the act of fucking. I mean, mana transfer.
Yeah.
When I watched a Gigux video on that, him explaining that, I was like, bruh.
I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because I like the origins of the series is always like, even if they don't really talk about that, it's just like it almost seems
off of like a. Wasn't it based off of like a dojin?
Yeah, it was kind of already the origins were already inappropriate from the start, but even though a lot
it became serious at some point,
like even if they didn't show any of that kind of stuff, and they haven't really, there's always the thing about the fact that it's an origin and they can always go back into it.
Like I feel like it's always implied.
I think so. I think a lot of shows just kind of like do a lot of implications for whatever. And you know, at this point, like it's been normalized, so I'm like, it's whatever.
There are so many Fate dojins.
So I mean, and are they all canon? The answer is yes.
There's so much Fate porn.
There's so much of it.
Oh yeah, I forget. Did you have you seen that Cyberpunk recently?
You know what?
Has become the highest played single player game on Steam.
Steam.
But are you aware of why that is?
I'm pretty sure because I thought you were going to go into like the whole anime route with Netflix.
Correct.
So, I mean, actually, that's pretty good for them. In fact, I think that's kind of genius of them too.
Yeah, the anime absolutely bolstered the player base of people saying, "Oh fuck, I gotta go play."
All I can really say is just like write that down, or like write that down. And it's funny too
I mean,
because Gench is
that's
kind
how
of
it works.
doing. Oh, sorry.
I'm just like, that's how it works, Matt.
Yeah, I mean Gench is kind of doing the exact opposite too, but you know, where it's like it's a super popular game now, and now they're making the animation, and in fact they can afford really good animation for it. And then whatchamacallit, like Cyberpunk, been in development for a long time. Um, player base like really fell off because of the fact that it had a lot of performance issues, like on these different like respective consoles, on PC even, and
Yeah, it was. I always say it's a good game, just buried underneath a bunch of bugs.
yeah, and but the problem is that like that first impression is so strong with the community that if some random person were to ask like, is it worth jumping into it, their initial source will probably say no, even if it is like already patched up. It's just about that impression. So even though they like CD Projekt Red's apparently just been working on updates on the game to make it playable, and it probably is still playable now, um it does make it hard to like jump into it. But because of the anime, all of a sudden like it's like, oh, it's different now. I'm
It's
influenced,
really good.
I'm motivated.
Oh, oh,
Storm's approaching.
oh. Such a good song.
Hmm.
Also, there's also the Kakarot DLC getting season 2.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
You were
hyped.
you were telling me that they actually didn't have any future plans
Yeah,
beyond Trunks.
after Trunks, they said, "All right, we're gonna stop there." And I was like, sad to see it go, but
Sad.
God, it was good.
And then
And
Bardock
now
shows
they're
up and you're
bringing
like,
in
oh,
Bardock.
nut.
Yeah, no, I saw Bardock. I'm like,
Honey, give me a moment.
ugh.
All right, I'm back.
And now we have, as we saw, it take up one spot. There's 2 more DLCs after this, so I'm like, ooh,
Hmm.
what do you have planned?
Yeah, sorry, Ibrahim. I did see your chats as well. 70, 77, 13. Have I heard of these numbers? But anyway, last night I was talking in Discord and we were making fun of Genshin. One of my jokes was Genshin players telling others that the game's good, and I posted a GIF of a guy talking to a wall.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad
It's
game.
not a bad game. I think it depends because
It just depends if it's your type of game or not.
honestly, if you want other people to kind of like jump into the game, I mean, the game has to speak for itself. Like you could say
Like
whatever you
I
want,
played
but
the game.
you
It's not
know,
the game is. I played it. It's not bad. It's a good game in terms of like I could enjoy it. It's just the fact that I didn't have a platform that I would enjoy playing it on because it's either mobile or nothing.
yeah, it's yeah for you. It's like it's mobile or nothing at that point because
The Switch port was delayed.
Switch port's delayed. I mean, there's the PC version, but I understand that you can't do that. I think that's it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, it might come to Xbox one day. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah, it's true. Honestly, like if I'm guessing if like I guess Hoyoverse, like if they see that there's promise to like bringing that over to Xbox, bring it over to Switch, then they'll do that promptly as well. And
I
it's
think the
about
fact that they're seeing anime games are selling like hotcakes on Xbox, so I hope they see that.
yeah, it's true. So I yeah. Also, I guess it also depends because like there's the anime stuff, but then there's also like the Chinese market as well. So
The Chinese market's always that's always one they've got to like work with because
hmm.
there's a lot of money that comes from the Chinese market.
I think though that if we're seeing other games like from China like being like showcase, what was it, Black Myth Wukong was one of those, then
Oh, that
depending
game
on
look.
that success,
Ooh.
then other developers like in China might actually see that and be like, okay, I think we need to actually start like thinking about all these other platforms as well.
Yeah, because dude, Black Myth Wukong looks sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm very, very much looking forward to trying out Black Myth Wukong.
And what was Naraka? What's that
Oh,
influence?
Naraka Blade Point.
Yeah. Is that
The
Korean, I believe? Or
I, let me look it up just to be sure.
yeah, yeah, okay.
I know it's we know it's one of the big three. And when I say big
Hmm.
three, I mean the three most infamous Asian countries being China, Japan, or Korea.
Yeah.
Let me just look and see which it is.
I think for me personally though, to in regards to Genshin, I was kind of already interested because of the fact that it's so funny how it like all started up, because Hoyoverse, before it was even called Hoyoverse, I would say, there was just Honkai Impact like the third or something like that, and that was actually something that was kind of under the radar, but
Ah, Chinese developer.
oh, that's sick. Then like the roots are there, the roots are now there, so as long as Naraka like gets that, then other companies will start like going in that direction as well, which I think is like a huge plus.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're also getting we're like Xbox is getting a few things from like they came to say, hey, we're getting these games coming to the Xbox, which were a bunch of really good games, especially including Guilty Gear Strive and Blaze Blue Cross Tag.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
All
Oh okay.
it'll
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
all be on Game Pass.
And more on the mainstream stuff. The Persona series is showing up as well. So
Yeah, I think that's set to release in October.
yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh well, for me personally, I got into Genshin because of like just the or at least it was on my radar for a while because of Honkai Impact. I tried for the first time because Honkai Impact the Third was pretty much a more immersive like mobile game where like you actually control the character, you actually do a lot of like action like based stuff, and it was actually really cool for its time. And then of course they were working on like Genshin Impact, and that was obviously like something that they were really like putting a lot of effort into. You saw it from like the music that they put out there, some of the gameplay that they showed before it was something released to the public, as far as being played. And then of course now it's huge, so I kind of just follow the route because of that, as well as like the Breath of Wild inspiration, if you will, of just how you engage with the world. But now it's kind of become its whole new thing. So for me, the what would probably bring me back into it is just like all these different possibilities to kind of build your character, build a team. Because I think that stuff is actually really interesting. But of
Mm-hmm.
course, if you're someone who doesn't really care about that, it might be still difficult to really get someone to really go into it. So
Yeah.
let me
Oh,
see.
and I know that I know. And just other side note, I do know that Rent a Girlfriend and Girlfriend both got another season. Girlfriend's getting season 2, and Rent a Girlfriend getting season 3.
What was girlfriend?
That was the one where he had a girlfriend. The other girl asked him out, and he felt bad saying no, and so he said he would try to see both of them, and it kind of ends up to this comedy about him trying to make both girls happy.
I I think I know what you're talking about. It's the one that's like they're oh right. I'm trying to remember the hair colors because that's how I remember it. One of them's blue, the other one's blonde, right? Or at least no, blue and
Blue
red.
and red.
Yes, okay, that was that one. I was like, I don't remember that one as far as the title, but I get you. I get you. I wanted to make the joke
Oh,
like,
but you,
Mark, you just kind of gave me the synopsis for almost every single like harem based one nowadays. But no, I
but
actually got that.
well, no, not all of them start like that.
Yeah, not a lot of,
But I will.
like,
But the person who made this one did make a series before it that I did know and I found hilarious.
what was that one?
It was the mangaka-san and the manga artist and his assistants.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the comic artist and his assistants. It is fucking hilarious.
Okay. Let me see. Yeah, you Rams talk about like his wallet through like fall in winter. It's gonna be empty.
Oh, bro. Yeah, exactly. You're gonna have to pick and choose.
So Ibrahim seems to have, yeah, Ibrahim has a take on Rent a Girlfriend as well. So what do you guys think about Rent a Girlfriend? Because I've been catching up with just the manga, and
The
I'm
manga,
go ahead. Sorry.
the manga. Like, I'll just give my 2 cents real quick.
Okay.
Uh, it's not bad. It just feels like it's dragging on.
I agree with that.
Like, I think some of the developments that are happening I like, and some other developments I'm seeing, I'm like, okay, we could do this a little quicker.
I kind of feel relatively the same way. I feel like this one hits a little bit like closer to like a personal level with a lot of people. I feel, even if people really don't want to try to like align themselves with Kazuya, because he definitely spends a lot of time not getting to the focus of the the whole like
That's the problem.
series.
The entire focus of the series is about.
Yeah. So I can tell you that like I'm kind of already invested. I kind of want to see what the story. It's kind of like my whole thing with Sword Art, except Sword Art's a little bit worse. I'm like I know this series is kind of bad at this point, but
I
I'm
mean,
just
there are
I'm
parts of it
invested
that are better.
in seeing what the characters do. Um, but I think Rent a Girlfriend. I think the story itself is actually kind of okay. It's honestly just taking a very slow pace, as if you're like that character, just going by day. There's some weird stuff that happens in the manga, and I won't say anything about that, but you know. So there we go. The scene with Chizuru and Mami. There are a couple scenes with them, so I can't really say which one's which. But yeah, no. I still love the fact that they're kind of promoting it as like a kind of like a four-way race, as far as like, you know, who's it gonna be with, you know?
It's like, no, no, it is not.
It's quite not like that. But I can appreciate that being the promotional thing, because I mean, honestly, as far as numbers, aside from like High School of the Dead, right? Or no, sorry, High School DxE. Aside from that one, the only one that has like multi characters and a whole integrate like love triangle or web triangle, if you will, it's probably these quintessential quintuplets.
You forgot to love Rue.
What? I'm sorry. What?
You forgot to love Rue.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. I don't recognize that.
Bro, you are missing one of the OG etchies.
One of the OGs. Is this safe?
Yep.
To, is this safe to Google?
Yeah, as long as you don't show it to anybody.
Huh? What do you mean?
It should be safe to Google. Like, as long like, it should be safe. Like, I don't think you're gonna see too much.
Or how do we spell this? Oh, never mind. It's that simple. Okay.
You've probably seen the characters around before.
I do. I don't think so. Maybe I've seen a clip somewhere. Oh my god, I'm scared to click on images. All right, I'll take a look. Okay, that's not bad. Oh, you know what? The blonde one, I do recognize that one.
Oh, Darkness.
Oh, great. What's with blondes being called darkness?
Yeah, she did it first.
I guess so. Yeah, no, I've seen her before. Maybe like another version that kind of looks like her, but you know, I think that's it. But yeah, that's a multi-harem right there. I see that.
And there's more where that came from.
Oh no, Jesus, no,
You ever seen
no,
Infinite Stratos?
no, I'm cool.
You never seen Heaven's Lost Property?
Oh, of course, yeah. Well, I mean, why did I was trying to remember. Like, I do remember that. I think this is when we had. I know Gabe was like really big on that one, but I think it was because he got introduced to it by Nolan. So I probably like checked it out during that time. Same thing as Chobits. That's a wholesome one. I recommend that one. Heaven Lost Property is actually pretty wholesome, if not like a little bit too like, well, not too etchy. It is etchy though, so watch yourselves.
Very.
Ebron's talking about domestic girlfriend, bruh. I'm not with that idea. I'm not with the concept of what they're trying to like tease at that. So I'm just leaving that off the table.
Which there's also Infinite Stratos. There's Absolute Duo.
Yeah, no. So I've just been staying off of like all the anime for like Rent a Girlfriend
Stayed
because
Alive.
I just never really got back into it.
I've seen a lot of these shows. I've seen a lot of the harem shows.
Hmm. I'll see one just like every seasonal, but you know, usually what gets my attention is just usually like ones that have like kind of like more of a like a singular romance approach.
Oh, and Nisekoi.
Kind of like well yeah, there's Nisekoi. Nisekoi is actually really good.
Oh, yeah, I love Nisekoi.
Mm-hmm. You know what was it, Yamada-kun and the Seven Witches? That had a very short anime run. Pending possibly.
Also,
But I think the story itself is pretty much finished. It gets convoluted
there's the
though.
one I know Gabe's reading the 100 Girlfriends That Love Me that love me very, 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 very much.
Mm. Oh shoot.
And it's like he has to love them all because if he doesn't, they're gonna die.
Mm.
That's like, I see. There's his incentive.
Nah. You could just love the one.
The rest just drop. Oh God!
Drop the Russell.
Jesus, Justin.
Nah. When we see girl number one, we already know. We know.
That's I mean, we saw Shitoge and Nisekoi first, and I'm still Team Onodera, Team Sugumi.
Looking at it as she's fam, but like
I wasn't feeling Shitoge.
Shoge is no. It's all like it lines up with the story pretty much tells you ahead of time. Like even though like they like had a whole teaser about it, like Raku, I get it. I know that you're infatuated like with this one girl, but this is the person.
I was rooting for either Onodera or Sugumi.
Which one was Sugumi? Was it the blue one? Blue hair one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it was Sugumi. I get that one too.
She was adorable.
I get her too.
Yeah, I thought she and Onodera would have been my choices over Shitoge or Marie.
I remember
I had a friend say that she was his favorite. I was like, why?
None. Hold on, oh, here we go. There's a character in you know, in that one as well. That matches up with another one. It's called Masamune's Kun's Revenge. Have you seen that one?
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah, the TLDR version is essentially like the dude. He was just a very plump kid, and this girl that he liked, like downright like insulted him for being that size. So he spends a good number of years getting swole, and the idea is that like everyone's like attracted to every single girl's attracted to him. But he knows who she is, and he tries to plot against like her for all the things, holding a grudge essentially. And
Yep.
aside from that, there's another girl character that's just like one of the characters in Nisekoi, who is the one like an old like friend of theirs that gets out of running early on.
which is Marie.
Yeah, so
You know, the girl with the flower in her hair.
yes, I do remember her. Yeah,
My
it's pretty much
friend
the same.
my friend said that was, dude. My friend said that was his favorite. I was like, why?
Yeah, she was kind of she was a wild card for sure.
I don't understand.
Listen, if they got a type, they got a type. That just ain't Raku's type, you know?
It's like because Onodera, I get it. Shitoge, I get it. Sugumi, I get it. Marie.
but
I'm like,
but Marie ain't no way.
like she was like she's not bad, but she's like my least favorite.
I get that. I just think that if we're gonna really talk about that, she just didn't really have anything else redeeming about her individually. Like that was her whole like character stick, is that she was a childhood friend, and she just is a lot more openly affectionate towards him, and that's it. And I get that, but that was just essentially her character. I felt like she had nothing else about her, so I was like, eh. Listen, if my guy says no, then it's a no. So
Oh, and if we're talking about ones that you say like a love triangle, I'm like, let's talk about the dumpster fire.
some dumpster fires. Honestly, they're
Oh, you
quite
know
there's quite a number
the
of them.
dumpster fire that I'm referring to
Hold on,
is the
I'm thinking about one. It's really bad. I think it's called Conception because it's based on a mobile game.
oh, that ain't the one.
Yeah, no, the really bad one. Don't watch it unless you're really curious.
I was thinking of domestic girlfriend.
Yeah, no. Abraham was talking about that. I was like, yeah, I'm not even gonna touch that one. I ain't about what they're trying
It's
to. I ain't about what they're trying to tell us.
I would watch Giguk's video on it because he actually does make good points as to like why he's like it's a dumpster fire, but it's the kind of dumpster fire that you just don't want to stop watching.
I think I watched like one of his more recent, like actually I think it was Glass Reflections videos on like dumpster fire anime, and honestly it's a thing where like it's something you can like watch and enjoy. It doesn't have to be great, you just have to like it. And honestly, there's some redeeming qualities for some of these shows. It just isn't for everybody, and I think Domestic Girlfriend is one of those. And it just so happens that it does not align with me at all, so I'm gonna just leave that alone.
But you've at least got to see him covering the end because it's got the wildest ending, dude. It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, I can only imagine because shoot, there was another. Oh my god, what was the anime called? Where like the anime ending is kind of weird, but I'm pretty sure it continues on in the light novels or something like that. But I think with Domestic Girlfriend, it's just like I've seen some clips here and there as far as like the dynamics and like the conversations. They try to be like really deep about that. Honestly, the actual more meaningful one about it was I guess talking about Domestic Girlfriend still. The main dude is what one of his like love interests. It's the sensei, right? Um
Yep, it started out with the teacher.
yeah, and it's the beach scene actually, where I mean like he already has probably like given his feelings out to her, and she kind of reciprocates it back, but as a trade-off, she physically takes him closer off to the into the ocean, and he's like, yo, what are you doing, like, and she brings up a good point, like if we do this, it's the same as suicide. The entire societies will reject this. And I was like, you know what, that's pretty deep, I can appreciate that. Just don't actually do that.
Well, you know, he loves the teacher, but he lost his but the girl he lost his virginity to is also her sister, and they are also both now his stepsisters because his dad married their mom.
Like, listen, there's what which calls it, there's what's the most current like anime right now? It's my mother is my
Oh,
my ex.
oh,
Yeah,
I know what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
you know
about.
the one. I
My
cannot get the
stepmother
name right.
isn't it like my stepmother's daughter is my ex?
Yes, Stepmother's Daughter is my ex, and I was like, it's pretty much like that, just without the sensei part. That was also a dumpster fire from Glass Reflection or whoever, but you know, there's actually some meaningful stuff about it as far as like deep diving into like the dynamics of relationships, how like they are strong, how they depart, and why is that. And I was like, you know what, that's pretty deep.
I've heard it's not too bad. I've
It's
heard
not
it's
too
not
bad.
too bad.
Not too bad. I kind of fell off of it, but you know, It's one of
It's
those
like
things.
it's not full on like Domestic Girlfriend was, but it's like, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
it's kind of like it's kind of in the same ballpark, but they don't go as far.
yeah. It's like poking like the idea with the stick. That's all they do. Well, at least so far.
Plus, also, it just seems like the girl's thirsting more than the guys.
Honestly, I think. What are we talking just generally, or are we talking about that particular show?
About my stepdaughter,
Yeah,
my
okay.
stepmom's daughter
Yeah,
is
no. From what I've
like
seen,
it
like
seems like she's more thirsty.
yeah, I think the male character kind of has a lot more like reservation about feelings, because I think they hint at just a bunch of stuff later on that I've seen just in other clips. TikTok is just like completely riddled with like clips of these. But to get to that point, it was just something about, you know, he has he understands the situation, he understands his feelings, but it's such a really complicated matter that he'd rather not act on it. So, and the girl is just about like she has those feelings, but she understands the circumstances, so she shouldn't. And it doesn't help that
Shawty wanna fuck.
it doesn't help that all these other like things that happen around them influence like her decision to start thinking about that more so I don't know.
Shawty wanna fuck.
Not quite Sweet Home Alabama.
Shawty likes it rough thing.
Bruh.
That's a hilarious song that you need to hear one day.
Maybe. Honestly, I've just been seeing a lot of what was it? What was the song actually? Sensual Seduction on TikTok.
Sensuals.
Hey, I get it though. That song was kind of popping off a little bit. It's definitely making rounds on TikTok though, as a meme.
But yeah, my stepmom's daughter is my ex. I heard it's not bad. I heard it's a decent watch at least.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. But, you know,
Like, it's not amazing, but it's like it's all right.
it's all right. You know, what I could recommend to you. It's Laid Back Camp. That's all I can.
Trust me, I've heard you preach the gospel of laid back camp.
And I'm not done. Listen, the dub is not quite finished with like the first season. There's plenty more.
Le Bacon.
Yeah, that's all I can literally say about that. That's me like on the podium for like 5 seconds. All right, thank you.
This has been my TED talk.
Laid Back Camp, watch it. All right, thank you.
This has been my TED talk.
What's actually, well, I've talked about it before, but another good anime for the season is actually Licorice Recoil. They have episode
I've
12
heard
out.
First Recoil is really good.
They got episode. Looks like they'll have another episode. I'm not sure if episode 13 is going to be the last one though. We'll see. Yeah, I like the characters in that one as well. I fell off of Black Summer. It's another isekai based one, which I'm starting to like get into. But there's that one.
My friend loves these guys.
I mean, I do too. I can also get like that burnout. I understand that. It just has to like surprise me like in some like certain facet of it.
Has its own little unique twist.
Whether like the character is sensible enough, or it's Shield Hero, or it's like Subaru, you know. Well, not really Subaru. Moreover, like Subaru's kind of more of a. It's about the fan. Like it's a dark fantasy on that one.
I know you really like. I've noticed that with you. You really tend to like the ones that are a bit fucked up.
Mainly because no one else tries to do it. There's a reason for it, right? But then, as as a result, it becomes the black sheet of like out of the entire masses who are trying to do like similar things, but they don't really venture off. So the ones that are more over dark fantasy or just generally fucked, just they're just different.
Your favorite being the most fucked out of all of them.
Indeed. It's just it's just that simple. There's definitely ones to talk about for sure. But I think with like ReZero, for example, there is definitely light at the end of the tunnel, and the reward right there is perfect because everything is just nice. But in the back of your head, you're like, but what if? Actually, when? when? When does that shift? But otherwise, there's some other fun isekais as well. Honestly, it's funny because I think one that comes to mind that's also isekai, but it's also kind of like slightly different. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was like Princess Dive or something like that. Reconnect something. Kingdom Hearts. But that was a
Remix.
nice one because it's just really like campy. It's really nice, really relax. But then it hits you in the feels like later on. And you're like, what the fuck? Why does that hurt so much?
Why does it hit so much?
Why is it so emotional? Why am I so emotionally invested? Next episode. And you're like, where's season 3? How dare? Yeah.
I know there haven't been any official announcements yet about it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I wasn't expecting the full dive onto like the anime stuff, but it's still welcome for sure. As far as manga, all I know is about like, you gotta watch out for the leaks. My Hero's there. So
Good shit. Good shit.
I'm looking forward to reading the whole thing tomorrow, or yeah, somewhere around tomorrow or something like that. We'll see. Yeah, no, I know. Isn't there some other new manga showing up nowadays? 'Cause I think there
Yeah,
was
there's been a
something new.
couple new ones. There's been a couple new ones showing up.
Yeah, so quickly that
There's
they have to fill in the
like
gaps
yeah,
for sure.
like we saw the show. They shonenized Frosty the Snowman,
Oh yeah, that's right.
which interesting premise. They have piqued my interest of where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep reading. They've also got the Demon Bride. They've also got
Yeah.
Aliens areas still going on along with Super Smartphone. We'll see if those keep going.
Oh yeah.
Those
Super
are just the new
Smartphone was
ones that
still a
have come
thing.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah. He did some good entries, good works, but it's about the popularity that keeps him going.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And I mean, there are certain series in it that are still going that aren't like that. Like there's World Trigger. World Trigger's still a thing.
That's true.
I do need to get back into World Trigger eventually.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Super's on break while Toriyama and
Oh, that's
Toyotaro
true.
figure out their plans for the next arc.
I mean, where they left it at is so wild.
Woo! They've left us with a lot to think about.
I have a lot to think about, like, do they or do they not give Frieza the N-word pass? And regardless of the
Hello.
answer, why does Frieza force that on himself?
Why does Frieza force that on himself? Who's gonna say he can't? Who's gonna have the balls to say they can't? He can't say
Ghidorah,
that.
you will no longer refer to me as my Lord Frieza. You will now refer to me as my whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa. And the creator of Ruri Dragon, like his manga is also on like Ruri Dragon's also on hiatus at the moment because of the creator's health.
Mm.
But we'll probably see that return again at some point.
And then I think that's pretty much everything. Honestly, it's cool to see all the new things being announced for the later half of this year as far as games and whatnot. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
you know what? This is something that happened more recently in the anime for Pokemon. Actually, Ash actually did beat Cynthia, so nice, nice. Cynthia's had us scared for a minute. She was saying that she was gonna retire after like the cup, but she was like, "Nah, you know what? That was actually fun. I'll actually jump back in again." I'm like, "Hell yeah!"
She's like, I'll do it again.
Nah, I'm good. I'll keep fighting. You know, this is what it is. So nice. I guess it's interesting with like Ash's like progression, but you know that's another topic for another day. I do know that Sonic has been posting like more and more stuff as far as like Frontiers. They've been showing a little bit more art. I don't think we really talked about like the songs, but Vandalize is kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie.
You feeling that?
I'm kind of feeling it. It's like it's speaking to me from like a place from like probably like the early 2000s.
I feel that.
I was like, damn. I never honestly like Sonic Forces completely like deterred me as far as like the music direction because I get what they're trying to do. It just didn't feel right for me. And now they're bringing it back to
You're
like
like,
rock,
I see
and
what
then
you're doing, but it's not for me.
yeah, it just ain't for me. But yeah, all right. I guess that's pretty much it. Mark, was there anything else you wanted to add before we call?
Nothing that comes to mind.
Alrighty. For now, in that case, we'll go ahead and call it here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Podcast. It's been episode 428. My name is Justin,
But
and thanks for watching. All right, everybody, take care of yourselves. Hashtag bye, everyone.